Perek Azov, Daf Samach, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Shani Bas Yehudis. The Mishnah and Gemara define deceptive and non-deceptive business practices. Number one, a seller cannot mix one batch of grain with another, whether new with new or old with new. The Gemara explains even if the new grain is more expensive with an order of older, cheaper grain, it is prohibited because older grain yields more flour. Fresher grain is better only if the buyer lets it age. Number two, a seller is permitted to mix strong wine with weaker to improve its flavor while they are still fermenting. In Bavel, the practice was to mix them even after the fermenting process because since the customer tastes the wine before purchasing, he will ascertain its true value. Number three, one can mix sediment of a particular barrel into its wine, but not sediment from another barrel. Number four, a person cannot dilute wine without notifying his customers. He cannot sell diluted wine to a merchant even if he notifies him unless a customer can recognize its dilution. If it is the custom, one can dilute during the processing according to the amount of dilution of the custom. New Mishnah. Number one, there is a machlokas Rabbi Yehuda and Chachamim whether a storekeeper can encourage customers by treating their children. Rabbi Yehuda permits it as unfair business practice because it encourages customers to buy only by him. The Chachamim permit it since another merchant can do the same with his merchandise. Number two, there's another machlokas concerning selling merchandise lower than the market price. The Tanna Kama holds it will draw all customers to one merchant. The Chachamim praise him because the wholesalers will have to lower their prices to be competitive. Number three, there's another machlokas whether it is permitted to sift crushed beans to raise the price. Abba Shaul prohibits it. The Chachamim hold it is permissible as long as he either sifts the whole box or it is discernible how much was in fact sifted. Number four, a merchant cannot enhance the appearance of an old item to make it look new, such as a slave blackening his hair to make him look younger, an animal making his hair stand, fill its intestines, or soak meat to enlarge them, or painting a utensil. New items can be enhanced. Now we move on to Perek Ezu Neshech. The Mishnah. Torah uses two terms in reference to interest. One is neshech, a bite, and tarbis, an increase. The Mishnah explains the difference. Neshech. The Torah mentions neshech kesef, neshech okel to indicate the law of taking interest does not apply only to money. If one offers a loan of $100 for $120, or he offers to lend 2 pounds of flour for 3, this is neshech doraisa. Tarbis, another way of expressing this, is psikal peros. A buyer purchases goods at a fixed price to be delivered later. The seller is not concerned about the price going up in the interim because he needs the money. However, if the price goes up, it is interest midrabanan because the buyer is getting more than he paid. Unless the seller has the merchandise in stock, then it is as if the buyer took possession, or the agreed price is the market price, and therefore the seller can purchase them easily. The case of tarbis in the Mishnah is a rabbinic form of ribbis, a business transaction, rather than a loan where the buyer demands delivery in order to purchase with it, for example, wine. The seller cannot commit himself if he does not have the wine, because the wine may go up in price from the time of the purchase until delivery. The Gemara explains the reason the Mishnah mentioned the case of tarbis midrabanan, because midoraisa there cannot be one without the other. They are mentioned separately in the Torah to create two lavin for lending with interest.